See, Wes figured if he made a short film about various moments of his life, narrated by, hopefully, John Cleese, that he would finally have the chance to change something. This is episode 14 of I Will Thrive. Okay, so today we are continuing in our John Cleese saga, and today is part 2. This is also an easy tip to get started on writing comedy shorts. Writers and creative folks can find inspiration in the darndest things. The methods to get ink on paper and write vary as widely as the personalities writing them. In the early days, when I buckled down and tried to figure out what to write about, I made it way too complicated. And writer's block is okay, and it's really the default home for many writers, unless you're a psycho like Stephen King. It's okay to breathe and relax in between spouts of inspiration. Just make the most of the inspired moments when they come. One quick and fun tip is just write down anything funny that's ever happened to you. And this can really easily work for other genres. Just replace comedy for your genre of choice. Once you have the ideas down, then you can wrap up your favorite moments and characters and just go on from there. It's at least an easy starting point to get the juices flowing and just get writing. And my life is chock full of hilarious, stupid moments, so my issue is trying to figure out which ones to write about. In the rare case that you don't have anything in your own life to pull from, then look to the world around you. It's really insane what you hear when you're looking. If you know you want to write a certain kind of story, you will hear discussions all around you that you wouldn't have noticed otherwise. Just open your ears and go to the store. Just make sure that you have a way to quickly write down the ideas as they come. I've only ever actually used this exercise of writing moments from my life once, and it was for what was going to be my first comedy short film. Since then, I've found it relatively easy to create characters and write for them instead of from my own direct experiences. And really, I probably went a little too literal with this exercise, as I took my experiences and I just decided to make the short straight up about myself. So before I get into how I used my newly acquired headhunting skills to track down a new selection of a celebrity, why don't you check out the entire screenplay for Don't Call Me Walter? I'd love to know if you'll say the same thing my wife said when she read it. She didn't laugh once, and she said, "I don't get it, but good luck, honey." Oh, man. It's taken 14 years of marriage, but she's finally figured out how much I love to write, and she hates it. She hates writing, and it's definitely clear she is not my target audience. Okay, so if you're not prone to reading... Now, this right here is mostly a narration script. It reads for the narrator. So as we go over it, we should hopefully be able to visualize the scenes just based off of what the narrator says. I now present to you Don't Call Me Walter by Wesly Lappioli. Interior, ballet rehearsal room, day. A grand piano is fuzzy in the background. In the forefront, there's a ballerina dancing on point. A pianist is vigorously playing Alcan's Scherzo Diabolico. Those are a nice pair of legs. And this is Wes. Exterior, Park City day. Slow motion. Wes is walking down the street trying to look like a bad mother. It doesn't come off. He let himself go after the past 6 years since he got married. He tells himself, the same thing happened to most of my friends when they got married. This makes him feel better, but happens to be a lie. His wife is a ballerina, half Mexican, and fairly hot. There's a good number of people that don't get how their marriage works, Wes included, but they're happy, and they do most of the usual crap married couples do when they start getting into their 30s. In April, Wes decided to try and level the wife-to-husband hotness ratio by working out an arse load. He also drank nothing but fresh fruit and vegetable juice for 30 days straight. He got the idea from watching Fat, Sick, and Nearly Dead on Netflix. Most of the juices tasted like horse farts. But hey, he lost 50 pounds in 1 month and grew a wicked beard. Yeah. 6 months later, he's only gained 40 of the 50 pounds back, which he says is still awesome. Also a lie. Wes tries to be a good person. In college, he watched the movie Hotel Rwanda in an ethics and values class. It was life-changing. Kind of. In that moment, he was in fact deeply touched. The movie brought him to tears, and he swore to never complain about the dumb little annoyances in life. I have no right to complain about anything. I have never faced or will face such hardships and evil as are happening in the world, he told himself. He kept that vow for about 2 weeks until he got home from a Wendy's drive-thru and realized they forgot his barbecue sauce. Wes has all kinds of ideas that most people roll their eyes at. Recently, he decided to become a writer. He wrote an elaborate screenplay that revolves around Bill Murray. As luck would have it, while he was about 2/3 of the way writing it, Bill Murray came to town for a baseball game. Wes rushed to the game to deliver his story in the hopes of landing Bill in his new movie. Instead, Bill said he ought to slap Wes upside the face for handing him an unfinished script. Touché, Bill. Okay, back to the hot half-Mexican wife. Wes and Michelle only ever have weak little arguments. Wes thinks it would even be fun to have a good screaming and throwing lamps kind of argument once in a while, but he realizes it's kind of a strange desire. All of the little arguments are concentrated on household chores, like how Wes must remove even the tiniest speck from every dish before placing them in the dishwasher. What's the point of having a sodding dishwasher, he says. Wes is not British. He just watches a lot of Monty Python. Altogether, though, Michelle has been way angrier with Wes than he has ever been with her. Like the night he spread her legs apart right when she was about to sneeze, full well knowing that the birth of their first kid rendered Michelle powerless against pee escape upon a sneeze, especially if her legs weren't squeezed together. Also, Michelle was not a fan when Wes secretly ate all of the candy bar prizes meant for her ballet students. Wes's legal name is Walter Lapioli. Catch that? Walter Lapioli. But his parents decided to call him Wes. This has jacked him up his entire life. His library card, which was only ever used to rent some Pink Floyd and early Genesis CDs in high school, and his debit cards all say Wes on them. When he goes to the doctor's office and they call for Walter, he rarely realizes they're calling for him. One friend, being one of the few to know Wes's legal name, insists on calling him Walter. Wes wants to kill this friend. Wes, above all, is a musician. He's been trying to break in and be a full-time musician for years. Lately, he's been trying to get songs into TV and movies for some exposure. A car commercial almost wanted his song, La Noche Indecisa, for a chase scene. He got excited and told everyone he knew about it. Don't ask him about it now. Wes hasn't played live in a couple years. He realized the only reason crowds were coming to see his band was to watch the bass player. He was popular in his church and girls thought he looked like Johnny Depp. Wes started the website Breaking Social Norms, which hasn't been as successful as he thought it would. Michelle rolled her eyes on this one, especially when Wes used their entire life savings of $10,000 to build the site. He got the idea in a social psychology class when the whole class reported experiences of an assignment to break social norms, and laughing ensued. Wes drinks copious quantities of calorie-containing caffeinated carbonated concoctions. This in no way correlates to his weight gain. This is true, and I am a stupid little Ireland. This is true, and I am a stupid little Ireland. Wes puts himself and everyone around him in danger every time he drives. See, Wes is a compulsive car drummer. Michelle wishes the steering wheel didn't look like this. It's all beat up and stuff. Sometimes when Wes gets really mad, he punches people in the face. His boss, his mom, and the people that call him Walter. Billy was one of those douchebags. Yeah, the Johnny Depp guy. That fight broke up the band. Okay, Wes has never hit anyone in the face, but he dreams of doing it all the time. The band really broke up because Billy was a terrible bass player, and the only reason Wes liked him was due to his Arnold Schwarzenegger impression. So Wes kicked him out and tells everyone that he punched Billy on account of calling him Walter. Wes is an only child. He has no idea that over the years, 16 different people behind his back had said, well, that explains a lot upon finding out that he was an only child. Wes heard his boss say it out loud once. A mental face punch immediately followed. Wes has been deeply inspired to change his life on several occasions, above all when he watched a video of Steve Jobs talking about death. And right here we insert the video where Steve Jobs basically says, now is the time to live, you're going to die, you should do what you love. Wes thinks himself an honest person, but he's starting to realize that he's been lying to himself for a long time. So here he sits day after day telling himself he loves his job. Had he asked himself truthfully, do I really want to go do this today? The answer would have been no, every single time. So why should you give a flaming rip about Wes? You probably shouldn't. The truth is, this was yet another one of Wes's ideas you were probably about to roll your eyes at. See, Wes figured if he made a short film about various moments of his life, narrated by, hopefully, John Cleese, that he would finally have the chance to change something. He was probably wrong, but at least he kept those 10 pounds off. Interior Wes bathroom. Wes is standing on a scale. He looks down at the number and then up at the ceiling. Dang it! The end. So you with my wife? You probably shouldn't be when you hear what happens next. Stay tuned. Thanks for listening. Thanks for subscribing. Thanks for watching. Be my queen or king or something in between on Patreon. I will thrive.